All right, so I had a little request, which I love, for different ways to apply our foundation and what they do. What's the difference? So I'm gonna start by showing you like my 3 favorite techniques that I use all the time. So these are the 3 tools that I like to use, 3 different ways to do this. So one being a huge fluffy brush, so you can see that this has a lot of bristles to it, very fluffy, very soft. Obviously lots of movement with this brush. It's not very dense, but it's big and fluffy. So this I like to call the fluffy brush method. So what this is gonna do is you can literally just dip your foundation or your brush right into your foundation like that and just spin it all on your face. So this is gonna pick up a less amount of product and you're just gonna distribute it on. I'm not gonna do this method today. I'm gonna use these 2 methods to show you, but this one gives you a really nice, just very light coverage. Someone that doesn't wear a lot of foundation or just like an everyday look, I like to recommend this to my clients with mature skin with a little bit of fine lines because it's very hard to overdo the foundation with this brush. And like I've said before, this foundation can only be used wrong if you use too much. It's very pigmented. It's 50% pigment. Anything you can get at Sephora is about 18 to 32% pigment. So no artificial fillers in this. It's just pigment and the plant-based wax that's in it. Okay, and the wax is amazing for your skin. This is not gonna clog your pores, it's non-comedogenic. It's actually good for your skin. So, fluffy brush method. Then we're gonna move to what I usually use on a daily basis just because it's fast and easy for me. So this one's a more dense brush, if you could see here. This is a buffer brush. So it's smaller and the bristles are a little bit more tightly packed in there. So what this is gonna do is it's gonna give you a little bit more coverage. As you can see, I have quite a bit of pink to my skin. I don't get a lot of like pimples, but I have a lot of uneven skin tone that I like to cover up. So I like this because it gives me just a little bit more coverage than the fluffy brush method. And the way I use this is I'll actually go in, this foundation's almost done, but honestly I'll get a few more weeks out of that. It's crazy to think, but I will. So this way I like to go in with my fingers and just kind of rub my fingers in it to warm up the wax-based foundation. The warmth of your fingers really helps to soften the wax a little bit and have it spread easier, so it's really important to get the warmth in there. And then I'll kind of go in and do stripes on my face, go with my buffer brush and just buff it all in. Super easy, but this is gonna give me a little bit more coverage than the fluffy brush. So now we have like a light, medium, and the third way is with a sponge. So this is our Blenderful sponge. For some reason, this sponge works the best with our foundation. It's made for it, but I don't know like actually why. But I know a few people were saying they use just those little white triangle sponges. That's okay. It's the same kind of thing as a sponge, but something like this is gonna be more long-term. It's going to apply it a little bit nicer because it's a better quality, but same thing. So if you use this dry, it's gonna give you a full coverage. It's gonna go on really full for you. I like to use mine a little bit damp. Now, damp, not wet. So what I like to do is I actually run it under water. It will get bigger. So, and then I kind of do a little bit, do some pumps like this, excuse me, to kind of ream it out. And once I feel like it's big, fluffy, and soft, then I don't take it out of the water and I'll just wring out all the excess water. And sometimes I'll actually roll it in like a paper towel or an actual towel to kind of get all the excess water. Water and wax do not mix well together. So you don't want this wet. You just want it damp so it feels light and fluffy and soft like this. And then it's perfect, okay? And this way, if I'm going to a wedding or something, or if I'm doing a bride or bridesmaid, I love this because it applies the foundation just so simply, fast, and I don't know why, but just like flawless, okay? And I don't use this on an everyday basis because for me to like go to the sink and like wet it, I'm just lazy. So this is just a little bit easier for me just to pick up and just go, you know? Okay, so those are the 3 techniques, and you can get this foundation full coverage, but what you wanna do is go in with one medium coverage layer first, and then go in and add where you need to, and then you can really get a full coverage. But just don't go in like crazy with the foundation, because then you might pack it on too thick, and then if you pack it on too thick, then it will look cakey just because the pigment in it is so high. So it is technique sensitive, but that's what I'm here for, and that's what you get when you order professional cosmetics through a beauty guide like myself that's a professional makeup artist, because you get me to walk you through everything and teach you and help guide you if you have any questions about anything. So I'm gonna take you through this really quickly here. So like I said, I'm gonna still get at least another week out of this foundation, which is crazy. I know it's kind of hard to see. I don't know how to show you. But it's all along the sides here. Obviously the center is missing foundation, but there's so much in the sides, and that's also what I love about the palette system, which is a pro artist thing. We love palettes because it makes everything compact for us. Everything's right here. But what happens is you just pop this out when you're done. So I like to just take like a pen, and there's little dots here. Just kind of push it out. You'll see the pan pop out. And then this palette, once you're done with it, can be tossed away. Okay, like I said, I'm gonna still get at least a week more out of this because I scrape it out through the sides and I'll use it all. I'll show you how I do that. And then when you get a fresh one, now if it's your first time ordering, you're gonna get a foundation and 2 concealers and the palette separate. So they're all gonna come in little boxes like this, okay? So you're gonna take your foundation out. It's gonna come in the clamshell like this. Okay, so this is my fresh one. And then you'll open it up. And pop your foundation pan out, okay? So this is my Olive 1 foundation. And then you just literally, it's magnetic. So you just literally pop your pan in and you're good to go with the fresh foundation, okay? And once you already have this and you're just ordering refills, then you just press refill, you order your pan, you won't get another whole palette. And what that does is every time you order a refill through us, you donate to our Brighter Together Foundation, which donates money to help entrepreneurs in third world countries all around the world learn how to be business women, start their own business and get on their feet. And yeah, it's a great cause. So just threw my other one in there and I'll show you how I use both of these, okay? So when you put together a palette like this, it's customizable, so I help you pick your shades. So I like to use this one. It has a peachy base for under my eyes, and this one is a highlight. But you could also do a contour shade if you wanted a cream contour. So that's what this guy is here. I just ordered a fresh one. So this is number 6. It's really dark. It looks crazy, but it blends out really nicely. So it looks like that. And if you just ordered an individual foundation, it comes with, or concealer, I'm sorry, concealer separate and then your little palette. So if you get an individual, it'll have its own little palette like this. And again, just pop it in like that. Super cute. All of our packaging is biodegradable. Awesome. So yeah, let me get into a little bit of technique. I'm first going to prime my skin, prime, moisturize, and sun protect here with our Perfect Sunscreen SPF 30. It's amazing, it smells beautiful. So our actual, you'll need a little bit, our actual moisturizers and stuff do not have sunscreen in it because most sunscreens inside your makeup like that do not have natural based sunscreen. So we came out with this natural based sunscreen, which is phenomenal because it's gonna protect you, protect from wrinkles, aging, getting sunburn, and moisturize and prime for your makeup. So no more putting that nasty smelling sunscreen on your face. Who likes that? It actually feels a little bit tacky, which is perfect for makeup. So Perfect Sunscreen, that's how I'm gonna prime and moisturize my face and protect it from the sun. And now I'm gonna go in, like I said, I'm gonna skip this method just because it's pretty self-explanatory. You would just swirl it into the foundation and just buff it on. It takes like literally 2 seconds. And the next one I'm going to do is I'm going to find my old foundation I just took out. Here it is. I'm going to show you how I do on one side of my face this buffer brush and the other side the Blunderful sponge, okay? So I'm going to use my old one that I said I can still get weeks out of, and I'm going to actually take it with my tweezers here and just take like a pea size. You do not need a little bit. That's actually way too much actually. I'm only doing half my face. I'm gonna put some back. Then I like to put it on the back of my hand And if your foundation is new, you can just kind of swirl in with your fingers to warm it up, like I said, and do the stripes. But since I'm getting every last little bit out of the sides, I'm just scraping it out. So I have my foundation there on my arm. Going to kind of just move it around with my finger. And then I'm going to just swipe it onto my face like this. And it looks like a lot because the pigment is so strong, but it's really not. This is just a thin layer, but it buffs out beautiful. This finish is just like skin-like finish. That's what I like to tell people. It's not matte, it's not dewy, it's like skin. If you want it matte, then you go in with our translucent powder and you set it. So this is gonna be my medium coverage, my daily go-to. Just want my skin to look good. A little bit on the eyelid, cover any veins. And if you want to go in with a little bit more, you can see my nose is still a little bit red. Just kind of swipe a little bit on and buff it out. Just like that. So you can see that it just gives a beautiful coverage. You can see this side just looks cleaner. This side has a little bit of redness still, okay? So now I'm going to go in with my Blenderful on this side. So when I use the Blenderful, I just go in right to my foundation here. I just do one little turn like that in it. Then I'll have my foundation on my sponge. And then I just go ahead and pat it on. This is a fresh one, so I might need to go in a little bit heavier, just initially. There you go. And this one, I kind of like to press and roll. This is a great technique for people like me that have a little bit of larger pores. So you can see how nice that looks. And that was literally just one little turn of the foundation. Doesn't even look like I used anything. But since the pigment is so strong, you can get a lot for your money because a little bit goes a long way with this. Okay, so you can see that. So this side just gives me a tad bit more coverage. So I'm just gonna go in with the other side and just even that up a little bit. Not that this side was bad, but people like different coverages, and that's what's great about our foundation is that you can literally get light, medium, or full coverage. Okay, so that's that. Beautiful. So that gives me great coverage on its own, obviously. But I still look a little bit tired under the eyes here. I'm gonna show you how amazing our concealer is. Our concealer is waterproof. So some people actually use it as foundation if they're gonna go in the rain or it's super humid. But what I like to do is just use my finger and just kind of get a little bit on my finger. Again, the pigment is crazy. And then just kind of pat it. I like to start where my bag is the worst. And then go up very lightly where you have any kind of fine lines. Everybody has little fine lines under here. Stay away from there. I mean, you don't really need to pack on the concealer there. And it's just gonna accent your fine lines with any concealer if you do that. So I'm just very gently going here and taking away that blue under my eyes, and that's why I like to use this peachy shade, because the peach is going to cancel out any blue. And you can see how much nicer that looks, how much more awake. Take it one step further, going with my highlight shade, and I'm just going to add a little bit anywhere I want to bring forward. Anything light is going to accent and bring forward. Anything you put dark is going to make a shadow and recede. So I like to obviously give myself a nice cheekbone, so I like to take it in through here and just pat it on the top of my cheekbone there to start lifting that cheekbone. And it's so easy. I mean, you don't even need a tool for this. And how nice does that look? Beautiful. I'm gonna quickly do my other eye here. And this takes me no time at all, like when I'm just doing it, but obviously this video is gonna be a little bit longer because I'm explaining everything. So this is how I whip it on at home every morning. And it's just amazing how much this makes you wake up, especially for moms like me who are still not sleeping through the night. So there's that. Sometimes I'll even take that under here if I really want to do a more extreme contoured look, and just kind of start chiseling out that contour by lightening out that cheek, that jawline there. And see already that gives me a little bit more shape. Also, if I'm like super pale, if my foundation's a little bit dark, as you know the seasons are changing, adding a little bit of lightness with your concealer, your highlighter down here, can just help things blend better to your neck. Yeah, that already gave me some shape and I haven't even added any contour there. All right, so I'm gonna now go in with my cream contour, okay? So I'm gonna take that, and again, wax base, so you wanna warm it up for a second. I'm gonna start light with this because it's really dark. That's okay. The nose, I'm just gonna use my finger. Just add a little bit, just to shape it. I'm not a huge nose contour person. And now you can either use either tool. I mean, I'm gonna go in with this just because it's fast and easy for me. I'm just gonna start pressing and just smudging. So press and just smudge upward. So people are a lot of the time scared of cream products, but honestly, they're so much easier to blend a lot of the time than powders are sometimes. Because these ones especially, because they're made to be skin-like, they just melt right into the skin. So I like to press and then flick upward to lift that cheekbone. You don't want to bring anything down past this, okay? So imagine the top of your ear down toward your mouth, and don't come in forward, then you're more, don't come in more, oh my gosh. Who is this girl? Don't come in past your eye. There we go. There we go. Fresh contour. So I hope that answered questions on different tools and how they apply and how they're different. Then I'm gonna go in with my powder here and set my face, okay? So I'm just gonna roll this in our this is just translucent powder, it's not really white. And this is amazing. This is like a filter and a compact. For people like me especially that have larger pores and like a little bit of acne scarring, it's a godsend. Because it actually fills in your pores more than any primer I've ever used. So I like to just kind of press it in where I have any pores, and we're just gonna set the whole face. Okay? And setting the face is going to make this next step a lot smoother, which is adding a little bit of bronzer on top of that contour. So I just went in with my number 3 bronzer, and I'm just going to further contour this up a little bit here. But if I hadn't have set this, it would have gone on a little bit more patchy. So I always talk about how obsessed I am with this palette. You can do a 3 quad palette, any colors you want. I always suggest a bronzer, a blush, and then a translucent powder, but you could do any 3 powders. You can get a duo or you can just do a single. I'm gonna go in with our blush here and just kind of liven up the cheeks a little bit. Please let me know after you watch this if you have any questions, how I can help you. It makes my life so much more fun for these parties if I can actually help someone or answer questions. So, all right, I guess I'm gonna stop there. I kind of explained a lot in this video and we're already at 20 minutes, so. This looks like a lot because I don't have anything on my eyes right now, but once I finish my eyes, everything will come together. I'm gonna do, I think, a little video and record my eyes next. So I'll post pictures as well, but I hope you learned something and I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions, and thanks for watching.